Okay, so now is actually this PowerPoint presentation is you can also see this one sa atong previous nga lesson, which was the um, properties of operations on functions. So now is we are going to talk about our rational numbers. Okay, class. Have you remembered or nakadungog na ba mo sa word nga rational?
Yes, sir, pero mapadjud ko kabaon sana.
Yes, nakadungog na naay idea about rational numbers. Wala. Okay. So, um we have here a number line. So atong hibaw-on ang rational numbers using a number line. So we have here -2. So mao na siya makita nimo sa number line. Diba class ang number line na ACI um, positive and negative integers. Right? We use as well our number line as um, a set of integers. Now, kani po di ang atong number line class is naapod tayo makita nga rational numbers. And we are going to know more about this one. So, as you can see sa ato ang number line is we have there our -2. So, ang -2 class, is it integers or not? Integers ba sad ang -2 class? Negative number man siya. Yes or no? Okay, yes. So, very good. So, kanang -2 is also an integer and it is also a rational number. Okay? So, what sa akong nakita diri is we have here a rational number is a type of real numbers which is in the form of P over Q, where Q is not equal to 0, and then any fraction with non-zero denominator is. Okay. Actually, that is correct, and that is from Google, I think. So, we have there, di ba niingon man ta in the form of P over Q siya. If atong tanawon ang P over Q class, unsa ihang forma? P over Q. Unsa man ang P over Q? Unsa siya nga forma? This one. In what form siya? Unsa man ni siya nga form class kanang P over Q? Very good. Tabanaw. That is in the form of fraction. So, ang rational numbers di ay class in the form of fraction siya. Yan na ta teacher. Unsa man ang -2 in the form of fraction din na siya. Remember that if you have whole numbers or if you have integers, it has corresponding denominator nga 1. Diba class? Am I right? Diba if moingon tag, for example, -2 is naa man jud na siya over 1 sa ubos. Like for example, 2. That is also a nana siya over 1 sa ubos. So meaning to say that is an example of a rational number. Okay? And then for our next one here, we have 1.56. And if we are going to graph that one, ari siya matungon duol sa 2. So, 'di ba niingon ta nga ang kanang decimal, 'di ba sa inyong lesson when you were in grade 5, grade 6, um grade 5, grade 6, grade 4 like that is that when you have decimal, you can change it into fraction. Am I right, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this 1.56 is also a rational number since we can change this one a into a fraction. So how do we if we're going to change this 1.56, that is um, 39 over 25 in fraction. And you are going to know about this one later on because we are going to shift to decimals to fractions and then from fractions to decimals. Okay, so in the form of fraction, gihapon siya. And then we have here our next one, which is um, pi. Are you familiar with pi? Did you
Yes,
use this one with your circle sa inyong pag-solve of circle when you were in grade 5?
yes.
Okay, so this pi is, ang ihang corresponding na number is a 3.14 and so on and so forth. So if we are going to put that one here, that is, naa siya diri sa pikas. But, to tell you class, this pi is not a rational number. Okay, nga naman. Because that pi, if atong gamiton ang atong calculator, and then kung tanawo na to pila ihang corresponding nga number, kay that is equivalent to 3.14, 15, 92, 26, 54. And then, kung maingon ganitag rational number, is taas na kaayo na siya. Meaning to say, naapa na siya kasumpay. So, meaning to say, never ending siya. So, ang kani ato ang pi class should not be a rational number. And you are going to know more about this one if we are going to talk about irrational numbers. Okay? Even though makita gihapon nato siya sa ato ang number line, yes, pero ang kanimangong 3.14 class is we only nagkuan ra gayta nag rounding off numbers. Okay? That's why we can put it a number line. So if we're going to get the value of it, it's never ending yun siya. Okay? Or meaning to say like repeating na siya. And now we are going to have negative 0.50. So the same in the case nga 1.56. So na siya diri. And then ang 4, we have that one here. So I hope with using our number line, you can identify what is a rational number and not a rational number. So we have here our rational numbers. So can you please read Enoch?
Rational numbers. The word rational is derived from the word ratio, which means quotient. Rational numbers are numbers which can be written as a quotient of two integers. A is to B where B uh, equals 0.
Okay. Not equal to 0. Okay, but thank you, Enoch, for reading. So we have here the word rational number is derived from the word ratio. Diba? If we know ratio, that is the comparison of two things, which has they have connection um, uh, with each other. So it means as well as quotient. So we have there rational numbers are numbers which can be written as quotient of two integers, or shall we say in fraction form, and then where b is not equal to 0. So nganong dili siya pwede b is equal to 0? Because if you have there number nga 2 over 0, that is undefined. Okay, 2 over 0 is undefined. So that's why we should not have the value of b kay ma-equal of 0. Nasabtan ra class ang definition? Basta in fraction form, mauna siya. If ma-change siya into fraction form, that is rational number. But with restrictions ni siya class ha, and you will know more this one on the following weeks nga to ang discussion. So we have here in our rational numbers, it can be written in three forms. So we have the first one, makita ninyo diha, which is fraction form. And then next is decimal. And then we have as well our percent. Okay, so here in fraction form, di ba, in the form of AB man siya. Sorry class ha, ang gigamit na to ganina kay P over Q. Kay mawan to gihatag ni momongan. So, P over Q and A over B is the same ra na siya kasa representations lang na siya. So, kanang A nimo class mo na siya mong numerator sa mong fraction and then ang B is denominator. As you can see, our B here is 10 and it's not equal to 0. So, you have there, mo na siya mong P or imuhang Q, P over Q or A over B. And then if we change na to siya into decimal, that is 0.3, and then 4%, that is 30. Then we have the next one, 37 to 100, 37 over 100. In decimal, that is 37 hundredths. And then 37%. And then we have here negative 212 over 1,000. We have negative 212 thousandths. And then we have negative 21.2%. So this class, I know you're asking, hello teacher, how did you change that from decimal to fraction and from fraction to decimal? Actually, ang percent is dali ra kay na siya is mura na siyang i-divide and then i-multiply nimo by hundreds so that you can get your percent. So now, since you know already how to represent a rational number, and we are going to move on with changing fraction to decimal. Okay, so we have here changing fraction to decimal. So can you please read um, Hubilia?
Sure. To change a fraction with a power of 10 as denominator to a decimal, simply drop the denominator and move the decimal point as many times to the left as there are zeros in the denominator dropped. The zero of all decimals point need not be written. It is used to call attention to the decimal point.
Hello? Nadungog ko ninyo class, nag-sorry ako.
Okay.
Yes.
Wala,
Wala may
wala.
kadungog, sir.
Hala. Hala, sorry. Okay. So, sige, akong balikon ha. Thank you, Hobilia, for reading. So, nagyoyo ko, wala din kanang, sige. Okay, so, we have here changing fraction to decimals. So, to make that long paragraph there short, so we have here, just consider 3 steps in order for us to express our fraction to decimal form. The first one is you are going to find a number you can multiply by the bottom of the fraction to make it a power of 10. When we say power of 10, you have there 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and so on. Okay? You are going to find a number nga imong i-multiply sa imong denominator nga mahimo siya og powers of 10. Step 2, you're going to multiply both top and bottom by that number. Okay, and then step 3 is you're going to write down just the top number, putting the decimal in a decimal point in the correct spot. One space from the right hand for every zero in the bottom number. So, meron na siya in short of this one. So, I'll give you some examples, or actually, na siya diri. This one. So, mo na siya atong first step. If the denominator is not power of 10, so kung mayon gay tag dili power of 10, timan imo ni siya power of 10 ha. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, and then so on and so forth. If dili ganin ana iyahang denominator class, for example, 25, 35, you are going to multiply an appropriate number to make it power of 10. So, mangita tag way, nga ini ka multiply nato sa ato ang denominator, kay mo equivalent siya og powers of 10. Mao na siya tong goal. First goal. So, for example, here we have 3 over 25. Okay, di ba? Ang ato ang denominator, kay di siya power of 10 class, no? Sakto ba? Power of 10 siya, dili. Kato kong gingon ganina ang power of 10 kay 10, 100. Muna siya power of 10. So, as we can see here, 25 is not a power of 10. So, what we are going to do, class, is mangita tag number nga atong i-multiply niya, mahimo siya og powers of 10. Sige, unsa kaha nga number atong i-multiply sa 25 nga maka-result siya powers of 10? Like 10, 100, 1,000, unsa kaha atong i-multiply niya? 5. 25 times 5, pila man siya, class? I think dili siya
5.
applicable. Because 25 times 5 is 125. Dapat man powers of 10 siya. Dapat it's either 10, 100, 1,000, like that. Okay, we have from Miller 4. And that is correct. Because if we are going to multiply 25 by 4, pila result? 100. So, as you can see here, class, 3 over 25 is equals to atong gi-multiply both numerator and denominator by 4. Pero ang ato rig yung gitan-aw na class kay ang ubos nga dapat powers of 10 siya. So you have there, i-multiply nato siya both numerator and denominator. 3 times 4, that is 12. And then 25 times 4, that is 100. Okay, so nakuha na to atong goal nga mahimo siya powers of 10. So teacher, nganong gihimo na lang, nganong gibuhat mo man nato siya nga powers of 10? Because kahilangan man siya ma-powers of 10 kay mas dali nimo siyang ma-change into a decimal. Kay di ba naingon man ta nga, if we can have these powers of 10, we can just do movements in order for us to get it sa ato ang decimal. So, if we have there 12, so naman tayo duha ka 0, di ba? Kanay mong duha ka 0, imura na siyang i-move, di ba, kung whole number na aman sa tumoy ang iyahang decimal point. So, if naadiri atong decimal point, mag-move ratag 2 places to the left. Okay, to the left. So, 1, 2. So, you have there, i-change na to siya og decimal, it will become 0.12. Nasabtan, class, or na questions?
Sabtan, sir.
Okay, how about the others? Na questions? Na naglibog?
Ano, Chair, pwede siya mabalik, Chair.
Asa dapit ang pwede
Lain ang
mabalik?
libog pakuha ni tanan, Teacher Gamay.
Okay. So, sige. Diba, we have 3 over 25. And then, ana ta, if our denominator is not a power of 10, kay mangita tag number nga atong i-multiply sa denominator nga mahimo siya og power of 10. Okay, so motong na iniingon nga 5, na iniingon og 4. And then, ang 5 is dili man siya applicable kay 25 times 5, that is 125 man. Then, dili siya powers of 10 kay powers of 10 is 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 man. Okay, so moto dito ta sa 4 because if we're going to multiply 25 by 4, that is equivalent to 100. Okay? So manang 4 atong gigamit. And then ato siyang gi-multiply both numerator og denominator. So moto nag-multiply ta 3 times 4, that is 12. And then 25 times 4, that is 100. So you have there 12 over 100. So kanay mong 12 over 100 fraction pa man siya, then atong goal is decimal man. If you have their powers of 10 nga denominator, dali na lang kay nimo siya ma-change into into decimal. Ngano man, if you have their powers of 10 like this one 100, imo rang i-count kung pila ka zero. And then remember, kung naagani kay whole number dira, if wala na siya decimal point, ang kinatumyan ana is naa dira ang decimal niya nga dili makita. So kanay mong 12 dira class, imo na siyang kuhaon and then di ba naman kay duha ka zeros. Kanay mo hang duha ka zeros, that is equivalent to two places. So imong i-move imuhang decimal point to the left. So manang naa ka diri. So 1 and then 2. So nana diri mong decimal point. So you can have 0.12 iyang decimal form di ay. From 3 over 25, that is 0.12. Nasabtan, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, now, class, let's go to our next example. We have here 32 over 125. Sige, mangita daw tag number nga atong i-multiply sa 125 nga mahimo siya og powers of 10. Okay, so we have here from Derillo, 8. And actually, that is correct. Okay, class technique ha. Kuan mo gud siya if para dali ninyo mahibaw-an kung unsay mga powers of 10 niya. 'Di ba, for example, diri sa tuang 25. Nganong makaingon tag 4 teacher nga imata-mata ra nato siya. Like mangita kag way nga ma-zero gani ang kinalasan nga kuan niya. And then i-try nimo siyang multiply ana. Okay? So we have here 32 over 125. We have from the relo that is kuan daw 8. And actually 8 is correct. So you have there kanang 8 nimo i-multiply na nimo siya sa denominator, that is 1,000. Then i-multiply po na nimo siya sa imong numerator, which is 32 times 8, that is 256. So same sa atong gibuhat ganina, count na to pila ka zeros ang naa diri. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So tulo ka buok. So di ba naman diri imuhang decimal point. So move ka 1, 2, and 3. So you have there, your answer is 2.256 ten thousandths. Nasabtan ba, class, or na questions?
Yes.
Nasabtan man, sir.
Okay, nasabtan. Very good. Sige. Oops. Sige. I want you to change this one into, I hope everyone is preparing a paper, no, para maka-answer. So, I want you to change 3/4 into decimal. Like, sundo na to ato ang kwan ha, ato ang ways nga magsuwat ra. Dili ta mag-use og calculator, class. Di na to i-anad atong self, ana. Sige daw. I want you to answer it on a paper. And then later on, kaya akong ipakita ang way sa solution. Tell me if you're done, class, ha? You can put your answer sa chat. Nanay answers, class.
Sa chat box ibutang siya.
Yeah, sa chat box. Okay, kinsay ganahan mo try og answer, class. Mag-share ko Jamboard ha. So that natay kuan ba? Maka-collaborate ta. And then I'll give you as your participation. I'll give you a points for this one. Pwedeng mo sud sa Jamboard and then mo share sa ilahang answer. Sige, kinsa may ganahan mo share.
Teacher, na-access denied ko sa akong Google.
Yes, Christian. Those are powers of 10. Access denied, class. Ano ni siya? Private din siya. Sorry. Kana, nakasod na mo? Naana si Anonymous Kangaroo diri. O si Anonymous Frog. Sige, kinsay ganan mo answer. Isa-isa lang. Raise your hand.
Chair, sa pag-raise of hand, nag-off ka man me.
Nag-off di ay. Ingon na lang. Sige, kinsay ganan mo answer. Sige kay, paspas kayong time close.
Ang sa ganitong kuan, chair, sa to question?
3/4, i-change nimo into decimal. Sige, kinsay mo answer na 7 nga nagkuan diri o
Ako, I
viewers.
guess, chair. Ako, chair.
Sige, sige. Pwede ka maka-write, Junal. Yeah,
Sa
right.
kuan, Jamboard, chair.
Yes, sa Jamboard.
Okay, chair.
Na-share naman ang Jamboard sa tanan.
Three-fourth, chair, no?
Yes. Okay.
Mauna, chair.
Yeah, very good, Janelle. Okay, can we give him a round of applause?
Yay!
Okay, good job. So,
Good
I
job,
know,
my friend.
yeah, I know there are also some of you have other answers. Not other answers, but another process, right? So, naiuban ninyo nga nag-multiply ra og 5. Sakto ba ko? Na nag-multiply og 5 pod? Or 25 pod inyong gigamit? But this one is correct pod. same lang gyapon siya answer. For example, ato lang siyang i-multiply og 5 because yeah, but lisod na noon siya if mag-multiply kag 5. So that's great, Janelle. Now, do you have any questions?
Sir?
Any questions about this example?
No, 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 sir. No, sir. Okay ra.
Okay, okay ra. How about the others? Any questions?
No.
Wala ra. Okay, so I'll give another one. Another last one example. So what if this 1/3? Okay, kung 1/3 ang given, do you think na ay way nga mahimo siya og kuan class? Mahimo siya og powers of 10? Haba tayo ma-multiply sa 3 nga mahimo siya og powers of 10? Okay. I know some of you are thinking wala man jud teacher. So unsa na lang kaya tong buhaton ani? So ang buhaton nato class if wala gani tay mahunawaan or wala jud siya mahatag nga powers of 10, then we can use the approximate decimal. So unsa nang approximate, teacher? So meaning to say kanang approximate is duol-duol siya. So for example here in 1/3. So di ba we can use for example, we can use unsa may approximate niya. Like for example, mag-multiply ka hata og kuan niya like 333. Yeah, one more time. One more time. Unsa to giyon? Okay. So what if ayaw na lang daw. Nang luod. Okay, we have here 1/3 man. So mangita ra tag approximate niya nga maduol ra siya sa atong powers of 10. Like for example, mag-multiply ka hata og 33. 333. Or actually, pwede ra pud ang 33. 33 lang ay mas gamay. Okay. And then, ang sa ubos pud kay 33. Teacher, nganong 33 atong kuan niya, gi-multiply?
99, sir, no?
Okay, because 99 man siya. Di ba doon siya sa powers of 10? Sakto ba?
Oh, yes, sir. Sakto.
Okay. So, since doon man siya sa tuang powers of 10, kay 1 raman ang movement, mahimo na siya 100. And then, 1 times 33, that is 33. And then, since doon man siya sa 100, you are just going to count pila man ka zeros ang naa sa 100 class.
2.
Oh, di ba? To. So, kaning 33 nimo mag-move ra sad kag 2 decimal places. So, your answer would be 0.33. Okay? So, that would be your answer. Actually, taas pa kay siya, 0.333333 like that. Okay?
Kung gi-calcio gani ha, sir, taas yun kayo.
Yeah, taas kay na siya class. Because, wa man siya yung number nga ma-multiply nga, kuan jud ang gamit. Like, kanang ma-powers of 10 jud siya. So, that is the time you can use the approximate. Okay? So far, na questions of changing fractions to decimal.
Naan ra, sir, naan ra.
Okay, nandra. Now, let's go to our next one. Dira kay niloading pa. Hala. Ari na sad ta sa ato ang changing decimal to fraction. Okay, so bali na sad ta. Makita akong slides, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir,
teacher.
makita na.
Okay, okay.
Yes, teacher.
So we have here changing fraction to decimal. So what we are going to do is, what if, mao ni siya ang ganina day class, sorry. Pa day class, other case, I forgot. So this time is, kani siya nga way, or kani siya nga part is, another way pod of solving katong dili ma-change of powers of 10 ang iyahang denominator. Okay? So, this is another way of solving, aside atong approximate. So, you have there, what if the denominator cannot be changed to a power of 10 by multiplying n divided by n? So, in this case, just divide the numerator by the denominator to desired accuracy. And the result will be a decimal. Okay? So, this is another way. So, katong ganina kay approximate man to. Ang kani siya nga way is you are just simply dividing your given fractions. Kaya di ba ang fraction class is also a division? Am I right? Division sad ba ang fraction?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for example, you have there 5 is equal 5 over 8. So imo ra na siyang i-divide. So ato siyang ipakita sa Jamboard ha. Okay. So, di ba, we have there 5 over 8. And then, kung mayroon tag fraction, ang kaning naa sa babaw, mo na siya imuhang dividend. Kung ato siyang i-change into division. And then, your denominator would be your divisor. So, mo siyang i-divide. And then, ma-apply na ninyo ang division of numbers. So, this one, ang ma-answer ni mo ani is kuha na siya, fraction. 5 divided by 8. Pwede ba siya, class? Di ba, dili?
No, sir.
Okay, no. So, say buhato
Dili,
na
sir.
to. Say buhato na to, class. Di ba, magbutang tag 0 or magbutang tag point in order for us nga makabutang tag 0 sa atoang tapad sa 5. Sakto ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mag-add kag 0. So, or you can put, para maka-add kag 0 po diri. So, now, you have there 50, and then, nanana siya point diha. 50 divided by 8, pila? Pila ang 50 divided by 8?
6.
Okay, that is 6. 6 times 8. 48.
48.
And then, subtract. 50 minus 48. That is 2. Okay. And then, is 2 can be divided by 8. Diba, dili? So, mag-add na sa tag 0. Okay. So, you have there 20 divided by 8. Diba, that is 2.
2.
2, sir. 2.
2. And then 2 times 8. 16. And then subtract 20 minus 16, that is 4. Then magbutang na pud kag 0 lain. Para mahuman jud ka. Kay accurate man ang magawas ana, class. And then 40 divided by 8, that is 5.
5.
And then 40 minus 40, that is equivalent to 0. So as you can see, you have there, from 5/8, ma-change din siya into decimal na
0.625.
0.625. Okay, that is the other way, class ha, if di jud nimo siya ma-change into a powers of 10. Okay, nasabtan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Nasabtan ba, sir?
now, we are going to have from decimal to fraction. So, ang kaning decimal to fraction might be a way easier. Okay? So, we have here is more on moving the decimal point lang siya. Okay, so we have here a first example, which is negative 0.001. Okay, so unsaon din ni nato siya pag-change, teacher? Okay, so to change that one is, alo, unsa yung nakita class? Jamboard pa?
Jamboard pa,
Ah,
sir.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have there negative 0.001. So ang kaning siya is kung ato ni siyang i-change into fraction, actually you are just going to count how many decimal places here. So di ba if we're going to make this one into a what do we call this? Into a fraction is mag-count raman ta sa ato ang decimal places. So, ang atong buhaton diri class is kuanta ato siyang i-form into fraction. Kaning negative 0.001, ato siyang butangag over 1. Okay? And then, nga nung nag-multiply ta og 1,000 teacher. Okay? Because, di ba sa ato ang decimals class, this is tens, hundreds, and thousands place value. Sakto, dili. Kay numdum ba mo?
Sakto, sir.
Okay. So,
Okay.
di ba, mag-start tag tens, hundreds, and thousands. So, thousands man siya class mo na nag-multiply tag 1,000 by 1,000. Nasabtan?
Yes, sir.
So, you have to know
Yes,
your,
sir.
place value. Okay, so mag-multiply na dayon ka 0.001 times 1,000, that is equivalent to 1. And then 1 times 1,000, that is 1,000. And don't forget your negative. Okay? Nasabtan, class?
Nasabtan, sir.
Okay, very good. And now, let's go to the next example. You have there 1.8. So, kani teacher, unsaon man ni siya? Same lang gihapon ang process, class. Diba? You have there 1.8. Unsa ihang place value sa ihang decimal nga part?
Tens.
Okay, that is tens. So, i-multiply nimo siya by 10. Multiply by 10. So, 1.8 i-multiply nimo by 10 times 10, that is equivalent to 18 over 10. So, 1.8 is equivalent to 18 over 10. Nasabtan?
Yes, sir.
Questions?
Nasabtan,
Yes,
sir.
Questions?
None.
Okay, none. So, class, remember that we have here 18 over 10. Is this our final answer? Sige, try to look daw our 18 over 10. Final answer na siya, class, or ma-reduce pa?
Ma-reduce pa.
Okay, ma-reduce pa. So, this 18 over 10 is not our final answer. Pila man atong i-divide para ma-reduce siya into lowest term?
By 2, sir.
Okay, by 2. I-divide na to siya both sides by 2 or both numerator and denominator by 2. So, you have there 18 divided by 2, that is 9. 10 divided by 2, that is 5. So, 9 over 5 is your final answer. Okay, dili ta mo stop sa kanang kung wala pag i-reduce class ha, dapat in simplest form gyud ta in our fraction. Nasabtan?
Yes, sir.
So, 1.8, if atong i-change into fraction, that is 9 over 5. Questions, clarifications? None so far? Yeah, Derilo, yes.
None, sir.
Same sign po yung una. What do you mean by same sign? Negative. Positive. A while ago, that is negative. That's why our answer is negative. But this one is positive. So, our final answer is positive as well. Okay, now down to our last number, 3.50. Sige, I want you to put your answers in the chat. Or kinsay ganahan mo solve sa Jamboard. Sige, share na to balik ang Jamboard. Sige, kinsay ganahan mo kuha na pilagay ito? 3.50. Sige, so Jonelle has points for today na.
Yay!
Yes. Sige, kinsay ganahan mo share. Lain na sad, sige. Lain na sad. Sige, class, kinsay ganahan mo ko an answer. Or manawag ko. Basin mauwaw. Sige, alcohol ha. How about arita sa girls? Ayaw mo left class. Sige, how about Mayumi? Bakuli. Wala, di siya kay Bao. So, what if inig ka ko na to anig ka unya? If magatag ko quiz, ang answer pod ani dili ta kay Bao.
Natay quiz unya, chair.
Yes, about sa atong gidiscuss karon. So, wala ra di ito akong gidiscuss ganina kay dili man gihapon kay Bao. Kasad. Kaguol pod. Okay, how about the Relo? Can you share your answer? Sige, you can go to the Jamboard. Nakasolve ka sa Jamboard. Ay, nag-solve pa daw siya. Sige, kinsay human na class who want to share aside from Tabanaw? Aron makasabot ang others nga wala pa nakasabot. Sige, kinsa pa? How about Araneta? Can you share your answer to everyone? Okay, naa si Momongan. Sige, try daw na to si Momongan. Hindi ka maka-answer, Momongan. Sa Jamboard.
Ano, chair, di ko ka-answer sa akong Jamboard, chair. Di ko kabaw sa password sa akong email sa computer.
Ah, okay. So, sige, arin na lang ta mag-base sa imong answer sa chat. We have 3.5 times 10.
Chair, wrong na, chair.
Okay.
Na
Yeah.
3.5 niya, chair. 3.50 ta.
Yeah, that
Na
is...
3.5 na ako, chair. Kay kato mong good na akong nakitaan ganyan, chair. Sorry,
Ah,
chair. Wait lang, chair. Mag-solve ko balik, chair.
sige. So, you have there, ako na lang pakita ka, that's G's na, no? So, we have there 3.50 50. So, katong sa mga wala pa nakasabot or sa katong mga naglibog pa, I want you to focus, ha? So, you have there 3.50. Diba, akong giingon ganina is you are just going to count sa imong decimal places nga makita nimo sa given. So, diba, you
Tens.
have there, in your decimal places, diba, mag-start man na og tens. Basta
Yes, sir.
sa decimals nga part. And then, kung ari ka sa whole number, manang mag-start kag ones. Kani siya, ones ni siya nga diri. Pero, ari man ta mag-focus sa ato ang decimals. So, di ba diri sa ato ang decimals, we have here two decimal places. So, that is tens. So, this is tens. So, feel na ko, diri dyan naglibog ang tanan nga numbers.
Hundreds, sir, ang kuan.
Okay, tens. And then, ang kaning zero na to, kay hundreds na siya. Okay. Atong isuwat para di jud maglibog para maka-answer gyud. Okay, so 100. So meaning to say hundreds di ay so mag-multiply ta ana by 100. And then ang kaning 3/50 nato, 3.50 ato na siyang himuon og 3.50 over 1. And then i-multiply nato og 100. Sin may bong mo asagi ka ng 100. Kay di ba hundreds place man ni siya mo na nag-multiply tag 100. So you have there nag-multiply ta 3.50 times 100 pila class.
350, Chair.
350 or i-move ka na ni may decimal place to the right. Kay 100 man na. So 350. And then you have there 1 times 100 that is 100.
100, Chair.
Is this our final answer?
Oh, no.
Dili pa, Chair.
Because we
No,
can
sir.
still divide this one. Right? So, pila to i-divide niya?
50, Chair.
Okay,
50.
very good. We can still divide it by 50. So, 350 divided by 50 pila?
7, Chair.
7. 100 divided by 50?
2,
Two.
Chair.
2. So, 7 over 2 is your final answer. Nagets na class?
Yes,
Same
sir.
ra gyud atong process class. Okay, dili gyud angay pang ilibog-libog atong self. Okay? Questions, clarifications, violent reactions.
No,
I
sir.
quiz, Chair.
Yes, na quiz for today. And then to those students who are not able to kanang get pa sa kanang process, I want you to kuan lang sa study first. I will post this recorded video on your LMS. Okay?
Chair, kanus mo open ang quiz, Chair.
Later at 11 or 12.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, pabuton sa
Chair,
nako
Chair.
ma-upload ang kaning kuan ako, kaning recorded video. So make use of all the resources that you have. You can also study your ebook. You can also watch the video.
Sir, ang
Take time
solutions
lang.
kay ibutang sa Google Drive.
Yes. Nagya po yung mga
Okay,
walay
sir.
so
How many questions ang quiz, sir?
5 to 10 questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Chair. Okay.
with solutions.